Hey everybody, I'm Sierra.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome back to another episode of The Unsolved Couple, where every week Ben and I recap one of your original gateway drugs into true crime.
Unsolved mysteries.
And we're live.
We're live.
Yeah.
Well.
Was that helpful that I said that?
I appreciate that.
Do you?
Yeah.
How are you, my love?
I'm good. It always feels weird starting out that way. Like, how are you? I know you know how I am. I know how you are.
Yeah, fair.
We do talk when we're not recording each other.
We live together as well.
And find out how each other are doing. You know, we check up on each other
daily.
Once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
I give you a call from the kitchen and say, hey, what's going on?
I have called you from the bedroom.
How are you
requested
doing?
That you bring me something because I don't want to get up and get it.
Yeah. You know, we see each other in passing and say hello.
I have a question for you.
Okay. I have an answer. 35.
How do you think the car ride home from the Coldplay concert went?
Well, that blew up, didn't it?
We are talking, the whole world is talking. This brought a nation together like nothing I've seen before. But
left, right, or center, we're all united.
Aware. And just, I know I've said this before, we do record a few weeks ahead. So do not please think that we are just like so far removed from reality that we're like catching the tailwind of things.
We're trying to bring it back in a few weeks.
Yeah, let's open this one back up again for these people.
Out. We want people to re-talk about it.
But I was thinking about that today. Earlier, I was just scrolling through Instagram reels. And anyone who has social media right now, like every meme, every reel is just roasting these people. And then I thought, did they come together to this concert, like drive together?
It doesn't matter.
And how was the car ride home? How uncomfortable with that? Because you know at that point, the reel didn't drop or the footage didn't drop, obviously, probably until after the concert.
Exactly.
So they knew at that point.
It took a while.
They were on borrowed time. A while in the world of instant social media was like less than a day. Yeah.
Okay. But I'm saying you're at the concert. This happens.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these people, significant others, most likely did not see it right away.
No.
So he's driving home, about to enter his house and thinking, my wife doesn't know.
Yet, yeah.
But in the morning, well, you know what? Maybe, you know what I think is he thought, maybe this won't blow up.
There's the chance.
And there is.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
what's the
chances?
chances?
Just a concert.
What's the chances of something crazy at a concert going viral?
If they had not reacted that way,
100%.
We would not know who those people were.
If they had just turned to each other and pretended that.
I'm not trying to give advice to people out there being active adulteresses.
I don't know. Something like that. Hey, I'm glad. It just goes to show that sometimes God has a really funny way of just kicking you with karma. Because here's the thing. You cheat on your spouse, you deserve to be ousted, and you're a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. And they both cheated on theirs, or were cheating on their spouses.
You're running a company and you're running an HR department. It shows that your integrity already is questionable at best. Yeah. But I think you brought up a good point the other day when I was telling about this. We were laughing at it. What were you saying? Do you remember what you were talking about?
I don't remember.
That this just goes to show that we really need someone to reboot the TV show Cheaters.
That's right. It just goes to show that we still, as a nation, are really into catching people that are cheating, and we're all about ousting them.
Yeah.
But we want a real show.
Yeah. So spoiler alert, in case no one has Googled this, I thought Cheaters was wild. It was one of those junk TV shows. If anyone doesn't live here in America.
Everyone loved it back then.
Yeah. It was like Take Cops. So it was like person point of view, and they would call into this show and they get on TV saying, I think my spouse is cheating on me. And they claim that they hired a PI. and they'd catch them. And like, then the spouse would show up to the hotel room or the dinner or the casino, and chaos ensued.
It was Jerry Springer.
It was Jerry Springer meets cops. Yeah. Like,
come to find out, it was fake.
It was all fake and staged.
I did read there was several ones that were true.
Yeah.
You know, people would call and say this and they would do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they didn't have enough or nothing did happen, they would just make it up.
Yeah.
And they just paid people to do it. Jerry Springer was the same way.
Yeah.
You know, so it was, but it is clear that we all still thrive for that type of, because that's why everyone got on board.
Yeah.
We got on board with this Coldplay thing because of who they are. They're rich and powerful people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a thing going around that it's like the top of the summer is always like time for us to sacrifice a millionaire somewhere, right? Because of all of like the tragedies that have happened to like uber wealthy people right at the peak of summer, where it's like, okay, now everyone can go about like their day because we paid homage to whoever we need to. Yeah.
But everyone got into this because we loved that this did oust two cheaters. And so there is still a market for it, which I'm kind of excited about that new documentary on Netflix.
Drops on Tuesday. It'll be out by the time this one comes.
It'll be out. Trainwreck, which all of those are great.
Yeah, they've been awesome so far.
And it's the PI moms, which I know nothing about, but I'm in it because
I've seen some on TikTok, so I'll be interested to see if it's some of the people that I followed on TikTok that do this for a living.
I don't know, but I'm here for it. Any type of craziness that shows people's crazy relationships.
Yeah.
And I think we all want to see it because then we all feel better about our relationship and we say,
well, yeah, that fair, right? You feel
all of us guys right now are saying, this is wonderful. This guy made us all look better because we don't
now the bar that's being set.
Don't listen to Coldplay and we don't take our cheating
side piece
girlfriend to a Coldplay concert.
Yeah.
So I'm better.
Yeah.
And hey, you know,
and anyone who's ever worked with a terrible HR person, everyone knows that person.
Well, no one
likes
HR.
You are actually the reason we need an HR department because you're a deplorable human being who's power hungry.
Nope. Nobody likes HR.
And then you get to see this and you're like, oh yeah, see, my instincts were right about you. Yeah.
Sorry to any HR people.
I know everyone tunes out. Yeah. Okay. So I will start us off. We've got 3 stories. We are recapping season 3, episode 4 of Unsolved Mysteries. And I'll start us off with Ben's favorite theme, Lost Love. Okay.
All right. Let's just get through it.
Nikki Wade is searching for Charlotte Harding. That's what I was looking for. Whom she became close friends with at a children's hospital in Los Angeles, California back in 1969. That year, 7-year-old Nikki was admitted to have surgery to remove several large tumors from her throat. At first, obviously, she was scared to be away from her parents. Like, they showed the reenactment. She was full on, like, checked in. And like there for a long time. This was not like outpatient surgery. They did not go into details about everything. Because so in 96, might have been 97, I had a tumor removed from my thymus gland. And I think I was in the hospital for several days afterwards. But it seems like this was pretty severe. So she becomes friends with another 8-year-old girl who's was diagnosed at the time with a rare form of cancer and scheduled to also undergo some sort of surgical procedure. They started talking and soon became friends and spent all of their time together at the hospital awaiting their surgeries. It sounds like both of these people's parents still obviously had responsibilities during the day, so these girls were left at the hospital alone. And I believe it appears that they shared a room together at least or something.
That's how the reenactment does it.
At the time for, did I spell this name wrong? Chariots. That's what I think.
Chariots?
Good night. I wrote these notes weeks ago. I should have read through them again before I sat down. I watched the episode again, but I did not read through my notes.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Mm-hmm. As it neared for her operation, she was forced to undergo a set of painful pre-surgical treatments. Nikki felt bad for her as she seemed to be in constant pain, but noticed that she was tough and able to get through the treatments. One night, she went in for her operation. When Nikki asked her mother about it, she learned that whatever this operation was going to prevent her friend from being able to have children of her own. This made her feel super sad because they had talked at some point, as I'm sure girls do late at night, they're in this situation together, about both having a desire to someday grow up, be married, and be a mom, right? So she goes into her friend's room or her bedside table shortly after her surgery, and she makes a promise to her. She makes a promise to her friend that when she has children of her own, she will name one after her. Okay? After Chariots. And 5 weeks go by. So these girls were in the hospital for 5 weeks.
That's a long time.
So long.
Those poor girls.
I know. They had to say goodbye because one of them was being discharged. Nikki's operation was a success, so she was able to head home. However, Jarrett had to remain in hospital for further treatments. Before leaving, they took pictures of each other and agreed to try to stay in contact. Now, this is obviously before any sort of social media. You made a phone call 2 miles up the road, it was going to cost you an arm and a leg for long distance. So this is not surprising, but shortly after everything, both the girls end up going on to age up a little bit. And one family returns to Los Angeles, another family moves to New Mexico, and they obviously over time slowly lose touch. In 1975, Nikki moved back to the LA suburb area that they had been from originally, and she called every single Harding in the phone book to try to locate her friend. No, that's all you could do, right? No luck.
Yeah.
And in 1983, Nikki married and took the last name of Crowder. And in 1987, she gave birth to her daughter, whom she named after her friend, and is hoping to reunite them so that she can ask her to be the godmother of her daughter. From my understanding, in the Catholic Church, that's where godmothers and godfathers comes on, they're named at a child's baptism, usually shortly after birth. But we learn that this girl's she's like several years older, 6, 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And she would like to baptize her daughter and name her friend as the godmother. She's looking for help finding them. And that's where Unsolved Mysteries leaves us.
All right. Update.
Solved.
So
it turns out her friend was living in Oklahoma. She and Nikki were reunited at Nikki's house just 10 days after the original broadcast. And on October 20th, 1990, she stood next to her friend to be named the godmother of her friend's daughter's baptism.
Great story.
There you go.
It is, I will say, it's a good story.
It's a heartwarming story. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good story. These girls clearly had a good connection in the hospital. And it's awesome that she never forgot
They spent
that.
5 weeks going through one of the hardest things that's probably as scary and all of this stuff. And it formed a bond. And hopefully I tried to look to see, obviously these people are just normal, regular, everyday people with no record in like fame or fortune of any way, shape, or form. I couldn't find anything whether they had continued to stay in contact with each other or whatever, but I'm sure that she spent that much time going through looking for her and kept a promise from when she was a child.
I was going to say, just for her to it's easy as a 6, 7-year-old to make a promise. And then it's kind of like, I did that long ago, but I was a kid, and to just shrug it off as that, but to even when she did that at 8 years old, I don't know, to still say, no, I'm going to keep that promise.
Yeah.
That shows character right there.
Yeah. So
question.
Yes.
I was, Did you ever have like a childhood friend that you lost contact and still to this day?
You literally just stole the question that I have set for next week.
For next week?
Yeah, because I made our notes we're recording twice today, a little peek behind the curtains. And so I always like pre-look for our stuff. And I wrote that down as next week's question. So, I mean, I can answer it now, or we could switch it. I can switch the question. Let's answer that at the end of the podcast today.
Are you on? Okay.
Yeah.
You want that to be our question at the end of today's podcast?
Let's pin that. Let's put a pin in it. Okay.
Okay.
And we will get back to that at the end of this episode. And I'll just switch on my notes so I don't end up asking you the same question.
I'm sorry
again.
I stole your question, but I was just thinking of that.
No, I think that's perfect.
I should have probably opened up my notes.
Yes, you probably should have. You were so enthralled by my lost love story.
I was, I just am so into whatever
you were being actively engaged.
I'm sure you got some updates or you got something you want to tell the people while I try to get my notes.
Okay, fair enough. I can scroll down and see here. I wrote down the places that we have been downloaded in the last couple of weeks. North Bergen, New Jersey, Deeside, Flintshire. That's definitely not how you say that, but it's in England. Flintshire?
Did you just try to say a word wrong with an English accent? Did you think that if you said it with an accent,
that's Australian.
Good day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the bobby.
Every time you say that.
That's from
I gotta
Dumb
try
and
to
Dumber.
be in the mindset of being in Harry Potter to be like,
let's just not try
dirt on your nose there. Did you know?
Let's just not try to do accents. We don't do accents.
Benton, Arkansas. You want me to do an Arkansas accent?
No, I don't.
Evansville, Indiana.
I know where that's at.
Do you really?
Yeah, of course I do. I lived in Indiana for 2 years. I know
you did, but Indiana's like a whole state.
It's a whole state, I know, and I was all over that state.
You were all
I never did go to Evansville, though.
Boise, Idaho.
Been there.
Silver Springs, Maryland.
Not been there.
Boulder, Colorado.
Not been there.
I've been there.
I'm just going to tell everyone where I've been and haven't
Reno,
been.
Nevada.
Nope, not been there either.
Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
That's not where the Lord and Savior was
No.
born. Bethlehem, what?
Pennsylvania.
No, I haven't been there either.
Denver, Colorado.
Been there. Just the airport. Sorry, guys.
I've been to Denver. My best friend from childhood lives there. Spring, Texas.
Nope.
And Milton, Keynes.
Oh, this is going to get good.
That's what it...
Keynes?
Keynes.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Sierra was really excited today. Did you tell the people where we've been downloaded? What country?
Yes, I have that on next. You are giving away all of the secrets.
Of next week?
Yeah.
Well, it's not next week. It's today. Who cares?
Where were we downloaded?
I don't know.
Say it.
Pakistan.
We actually downloaded a few places in Pakistan, and I put them on next week's read because I have a couple weeks worth of these.
And then the government put us on the no download list.
They were like, these people are out of control. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Okay, we're good to go. I needed to get my drink.
All right. Okay, you ready for the next story?
Mm-hmm.
This is a weird one. And I apologize for any kind of confusion that comes out of this story because the way Unsolved Mysteries told it was
terribly told. I had to watch it twice.
I have watched it 3 times. 3 times. And there's still parts that just don't make any sense. So anyone, if you come out and you say, what was he talking about? Fair question.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm sorry.
And I will say, I told Ben this the other night when we were talking about just how difficult this one was. Sometimes you are the narrator telling the story controls the narrative. I mean, right? The narrative. That's like the whole point. And so sometimes I think that makes things a little confuzzling.
But I have four pages of notes here. Mm-hmm. just to try to tell the story.
Okay.
And hopefully it goes.
All right. I'll stay silent then so you can.
No, I'm going to try to get through this as fast as possible. So, or at least try to tell it. Anyways, Rome, New York. We hear about a man by the name of Stanley Gryziec. He owned a liquor store and a gas station. They were connected together. Stanley owned the liquor store. His brothers, Peter and Bernard, they ran the gas station. And Stanley and his wife, Esther, sorry, I apologize.
Could there be any more of like an older person's name?
Hey, I love it.
Esther.
I love older people's names. I think they need to come back. And we got to start with, Clarence.
Esther, Clarence, Agnes.
Those are my grandparents' names, and they're great names.
Yeah.
But I actually do love the name Clarence.
Yeah.
I love that name. It's awesome. So I love my grandpa. He's a good man.
Was a good man.
Yeah, he was a good man. Yeah. I still wear his belt buckle almost every day. All right. So Stanley ran the liquor store. His brother ran the gas station. And Stanley and Esther lived right next door to this little business that they owned. Right? So November 6th, 1976, we hear that they're getting ready for bed. They're doing their nightly routine. Stanley's upstairs turning on the bath for his wife, Esther, which is, I'm sorry, is that not the sweetest thing?
I thought that was adorable. That this was like their kind of nightly routine.
It was nightly routine. He's up there. He's turning the bath on for his wonderful wife. He's getting it ready for her. She's down there and she starts walking through the house and is just doing her checkup, which I get it.
We have a nightly routine.
I have a nightly routine. I go through all the doors twice. And I make sure everything's turned off. And my OCD makes sure like the oven's turned off and the stove's turned off and all that stuff. And all the lights are turned off. And she hears something and bang, two guys come barreling through the back door at gunpoint. They throw her down and they hog tie her.
I know,
literally,
which is terrible.
They
but
tie
the
her.
Reenactment, I felt bad because this is obviously this worst moment of this woman's life being played out. And I laughed so hard.
You laughed?
The reenactment.
You monster. You are a monster.
Reenactment people. It was terrible.
All the reenactments are terrible in this. Next episode's reenactments is just awful.
Yes. Continue. Did you notice when they threw her down, though, what the biggest problem I had?
I can only imagine. What is it?
The kitchen.
Sierra thinks that the kitchen had carpet in it.
I don't think. I know. That kitchen was carpeted.
Do you remember
And I think the bathroom was carpeted during the scene where he's filling up her bathtub.
Do you remember the apartment we had in Idaho?
Yes.
It had carpet in the bathroom.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
It's terrible. Don't carpet your bathroom.
Don't carpet your bathroom, your laundry room, or your kitchen.
Yeah. So anyways, they come in, they hogtie Esther in the kitchen and they rob them. They say she's deaf. She has hearing aids, but they knocked out her hearing aids. So she can't hear anything going on. All she can do is literally feel the vibrations. And they were in the house.
So terrifying.
Yeah. They're in the house for 45 minutes.
Have you ever been hogtied?
No, I haven't. Can't say that I have.
I
think it would be awful.
That's it's not a comfortable position.
No.
Your shoulder blades have got to be at that point just in utter pain.
Okay. So.
What is funny? You're laughing.
I'm not laughing at this story.
Ben is getting the giggles over there.
I'm not laughing at this story. Okay.
Do you care to share with the class?
No, I don't know what I'm laughing at. I don't know. All right.
Oh, no.
I just got to get through this. All right. Can we get down to serious? Let's get down to brass tacks. All right. They hogtie this lady. They leave her there. She doesn't know what's going on. She hears all the vibrations. It finally stops. She thinks they've rummaged through her house for 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
She's able to finally get free. Literally wiggles herself out of this hog tie, which that's wild. Or they didn't do a very good job. She does say while she's laying there, she did notice that when he went to hog tie her, he laid a pearl handled gun on the ground as he hog tied her. And then he picked it up and went. So she gets free, starts looking the house, and what does she find? Her husband in the dining room, shot dead. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they call the police. The police come in, they kick everybody out, they search the house.
Do you think from the jump, the fact that they hogtied her but then killed him is weird?
Yeah, but you just don't know what happened. Did he try to fight him?
I know, but he's an old man.
Well, he was in his, so I looked at, he was 59.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's not.
It appeared on Unsolved Mysteries that he was like old.
Yeah, they showed he was, I think he was 59.
Okay.
I wrote it down because they ended up showing something, or when I did my research, it told me how old he was.
Okay.
So it's not like he was an 80-year-old guy.
Okay. I mean, I guess then, yeah, fair. He could have at least tried to stand his ground.
But here's the thing. We have no idea. No idea. And maybe that was the fact. Maybe they did come in, they hogtied her, and they went there to kill him and find something.
Yeah, because we learn real quick that even though they ransacked the crap out of the house.
Well, so they tell us, the police come in, they do a search. They do a thorough search, but not really a
Ben
thorough
used
search.
Air quotes in the word thorough.
Yes, I did. And they try to say that they don't notice anything missing, even though they don't let the family in the house while they do this. All that was missing was 2 beer bottles from the fridge, which, dude, you're a douche. You ransack a house and then you just take the man's beer.
Do you know that the Gold State Killer used to do that?
I don't even know who the Gold State Killer is or what that is.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm going to guess it's someone in San Francisco. Golden State, right? Golden State Bridge. Am I right on that?
California.
It's not San Francisco?
Not San Francisco, no.
Then why would you call him the Gold State Killer?
Because I think he was up and down the corridor.
You know what? I kind of don't care.
Okay.
All right.
Ben is feeling saucy today.
I am. So they do an investigation. That's what they find. They do an autopsy. And they say, guess what? Stanley, he was stabbed to death in the heart. And the wife says, I don't think so. I saw a gun. I saw him lay a gun down as he hogtied me.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. And anyways, terrible story. The wife ends up literally dying within 2 years after this. They interviewed 2 of the kids and they say this just broke their mother's heart.
No kidding.
They said their marriage was beautiful. It was perfect. They love each other. They cared for each other. Clearly, the man at 59 is still drawing his wife's bath in the evening. Yeah. I would say he's a good man and a good husband.
Yeah.
And he just runs a little business with his brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, people. All right. So she ends up dying literally within 20 months, they say.
Yeah.
It just broke her heart. And something terrible happened and she lost her spouse because of it. So they say he died of this stab wound. Mm-hmm. And the wife and the kids are like, that doesn't
track. Yeah.
So, but investigation goes nowhere. So they push and push. They end up exhuming the body, doing another autopsy. Guess what? He wasn't stabbed. He was shot.
But how do you mess
I don't know.
that up?
How are you someone that does autopsies and can't determine between a stab wound and a bullet?
They leave very, very different marks on the body.
I don't know, but I just expect someone that does autopsies to know.
Yeah.
Call me crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
That's what and here's the thing, rightfully so. I think you missed the part too. The family was let back into the house.
So yeah, I was going to get that. I'm sorry. I did.
Yeah.
How did I not put that?
Okay. So just because I remember it, the kids were let back into the house after they did their initial sweep and their quote unquote thorough search. And they literally were just kind of cleaning up and dropped something on the ground and went to pick it up and noticed a bullet casing in the dining room under the table, right as rain, bright as day, sitting there. And that's where I believe the father was found dead.
He was found in the dining room. I apologize, people. Yeah.
So there was
they found this casing.
A spent casing. Yeah.
The next day after the murder, the son comes in. He finds this casing. He puts it in a plastic bag, calls the detective from the Rome Police Department.
Yeah.
The detective comes out and says, hey, thanks. Puts it in his pocket and says, hey, don't mention this to anybody.
Let's not mention this to anybody.
And then the autopsy comes out and says, oh, yeah, he was stabbed. I'm like, wait, but you have a bullet casing.
Yeah. And so you have the wife that says that she saw a gun.
Yeah. So it was
clearly from the beginning, this was not done. This was
the entire investigation was botched.
Is this a tiny little town?
I don't know. Look it up.
Did you look it up?
Rome, New York. I didn't look up the town.
I will take a look because to me, growing up in a small town, the Myrtle Creek Police Department were basically, I could have seen them being this way. They were useless.
Yeah. So anyways, but they did at least establish that he was shot to death. But the case goes cold. So we got nothing to go off of. Okay.
Okay.
Until March of 1989.
Oh, population is 32,000 as of now.
Well, that's a little town. I mean, it's not little, but it's.
I mean, Myrtle Creek has 3,000. That's what I guess I was picturing that this was like.
That's even a little bigger than your Roseburg town.
That's bigger than, Roseburg.
But much smaller than the town I grew up
in. What year was this again?
It was in the 70s. Hold on.
I'm just going to pull it.
I think they said 1976.
Okay.
1976.
All right. Just continue. I'll see if I can find anything.
All right. So, like I said, case investigation went cold till March of 1989. A drug dealer comes forward and he tries to tell the police, hey, guess what? You know that murder, Stanley Gryziec?
Mm-hmm.
I think I might know more to that story. So he tells a story about how he was working in a bar in 1976 and an associate of his that he might have owed money to. I know people, this might come as a shock. But the drug dealer's interviewed, but of course, his face is blacked out and his voice is,
altered.
Yeah. I think he probably doesn't paint the whole picture for us. I know that might come as a shock to everybody, but I don't think he paints the whole picture for us. But he says pretty much, hey, I might have owed money to this guy. So he tells him, he's like, hey, I got a job for you. I need you to go and I need you to rob Stanley. He's got a lot of money in there and I need you to go in there and take it. Right. And he did this a few days before Stanley was actually murdered. So he drives him over there, he shows him the house, and the guy says, hey, listen, I might sling dope, but I'm not a burglar. Yeah. I don't break into people's homes. What great honor. I'm very impressed with your integrity, son.
We all have boundaries.
I guess.
Here's the other thing, too, that the fact that this guy respected his boundaries after saying, I need this done. And he was like, I'm good, thanks. And it was like, he went on his merry way. That to me, this whole story is bananas.
Well, it's his story. It's his version. And we only have his version.
I'm like,
and he makes himself out to be someone with morals and values. Trust me, if you asked me my story, I come out a huge hero and
you're like, listen, I was at that Coldplay concert.
Listen. And I was there with my friends.
Was choking on something and I was simply performing.
I was trying to give her the Heimlich. That's what happened.
Yeah,
and then they asked me to kiss and I ducked because I'm not going to kiss a girl.
I'm just trying to give her the Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez Louise, people. Okay, so this guy gets driven over to the house and he says, hey, thanks for the tour, but I don't rob people.
Yeah, and the guy is like, fine.
Yeah.
I guess he just, even though the guy owes him money, he just accepts that and takes him back to the bar to sling some more shots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
That's the end of his story.
Yeah.
So what that does do, though, at least the guy comes forward. He tells a story to the investigators. they reopen the case and really start digging into it. So then we get more to the story. And this part doesn't make a lick of sense.
Nope.
Okay. So they start going around and trying to re-talk to people and re-interview people. So they go talk to the neighbor. Her name is Amy Scott. And she tells the story that on the night that Stanley was murdered, she let her dog out. I think she says around 11 or something like that.
Yeah, it was late in the night.
Her dog was wanting to get out. She lets him out. Okay. And as she lets him out, she sees a man walking through the alley. Doesn't give a description, or at least not to us. She is interviewed. Then she says, I guess she left her dog out there for 30, 45 minutes.
As one does.
Yeah. And there are our dog, if you leave her out more than 5 minutes, she is pissed. And she lets you know. She sits at our door and barks and whines until she gets back in. There are probably other dogs that go out and are happy to be out for a little while.
Yes.
Okay. But then miraculously, she says she comes back in 30, 45 minutes. And what do you know? Guys, what is the odds? As she goes to let the dog back in, here this guy comes back from the alley.
Yeah.
What are the odds that you let your dog out, you see him go, and then you let him back in and you see him come back?
Well, I will say, I believed her story because of the next part. He drove off.
Yes, I do believe it. So she sees him get into a white Lincoln.
And this is memorable to her because her dog, I'm guessing she didn't have a fence in her front yard. She didn't let her dog out in the backyard.
She looks like she let the dog out.
In the front yard with no fence.
Well, if it's the alley, maybe it's...
Maybe, but the dog is now sitting in the road of some sort.
But she says that Lincoln drives off.
Mm-hmm. And
there was already someone in the driver's seat. Drives off
and almost hits the dog.
And she yells at him.
Yeah, as one should.
She screams at him.
Yeah. So this becomes a memorable moment in her mind.
I agree with you. I'm fathom at the ability that she saw him come and go all by her dog. That is pretty good luck. All right. This is the part that doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense.
We take a left turn.
So days later, she says, she's pulling in. She says it's around 5 o'clock. She pulls into the bank, to the ATM, and people back then you had to get your paycheck and drop it off at the bank. It just didn't get dropped in there. So she's at the line for the bank. And what does she know? She looks in her rearview mirror and she sees a Lincoln car behind her.
The same car.
And she says the driver was the same man.
He appears to be stalking her.
But why? Why?
I don't know.
Why? It doesn't make any sense. So she gets scared for some reason. I don't know why. So she says, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm out of here. She drives off, hightails it. He follows her. There's a chase. It ensues. And where does she go? The police station. Good for her.
I would too. That's the right place to go.
So she pulls up in the park. She pulls up in front of the police station, runs up and tells the police officer, this guy. She then proceeds to tell us they get in his car and they drive around. They don't see the car. I just don't understand. I will say that
is kind of bananas. The cop to being like, why don't you, as a citizen, get into my vehicle?
It is the 70s. It's the 70s, man. It was a different world back then.
Yeah.
But why was she all of a sudden scared of this car?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense. And maybe it's because she finds out the day next that her neighbor was murdered and she might have seen maybe that was it. Yeah. She realized, holy crap, there was a murder.
And I may have witnessed the person
they're right next
involved
to,
in it.
Holy crap.
And now they know where I live because I came out of my house.
And maybe that was
them.
it. Yeah. Maybe I didn't put that together, but I just did.
Just now.
I'm slow, people. I'm very slow. All right. But they say Amy, and they don't tell us how, but Amy leads investigators. That's all they say. Amy leads investigators to a lady named Patsy who owns a bookstore. Patsy Peak.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't tell us how she leads her to Patsy Peak. So don't ask that question, people. Don't.
So hold on real quick. We have a man that has been murdered that owns a liquor store / gas station in his home.
Yes.
Okay. We're now it has been reopened due to a tip that came in
1989.
The man came in and said, "Hey,
someone asked me to
burglarize this home. You might want to look into this bar owner." Right? Was it the guy that owned a bar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't really tell us that. They say that, but we learn that later.
Yeah. So that's where we are.
That's how Unsolved Mysteries tells it to us later.
At that same time,
the neighbor saw someone that night in the alley going there and back. That tip
didn't come forward beforehand because she hopped in the police car earlier.
We find out about the next lady, Patsy. They did ask her. I'm going to tell you the story of Patsy in a minute. And the investigators asked Patsy in 1989, "Why didn't you tell investigators this?" And she said, I did.
Okay, that's right.
And they could not find any
I'm just trying to catch people because, I remember watching this. I had to keep rewinding it because I kept thinking I was missing something because it kind of jumps back and forth. So even though we get...
I'm just telling you
the body was exhumed, the case was reopened. We are now almost in a way going back because this lady had the experience shortly after her neighbor was murdered.
I know. I'm just telling you this, people, the same way Unsolved Mysteries told us this.
Yeah.
They don't explain why Amy...
Or even how all of these people are connected. The neighbor makes sense, but the next witness does not.
Well, I'm saying the investigators went back and found this neighbor and asked her, "Hey, man, did you see anything?" And she's like, "Yeah, I did see this." And this is what... We don't actually find out if she told the investigators that back then or whatever.
She drove to the police station.
I know. But all of this we're finding out in 1989.
Okay. Sorry, continue.
No, you're good. These are great questions. And hopefully it helps clear up people that are listening to this story. And they're like, "Hey, Ben, you're an idiot. You're telling a story terrible." And that's fair. It's fair. Call me an idiot.
I'm just being insufferable.
Exactly. I'm insufferable right now.
No, you're not.
Go read our comments and you'll know what we're talking about. All right. So, like I said, Amy led the investigators to Patsy. Patsy owns a bookstore. She tells the story that the day before the murder, two men come in and she gives a description of him. Like one was this creepy skinny dude that he just looks like a serial killer. And the other dude is this big idiot. So that's a better description, but that's my description. Okay. You're welcome. Again, this story. So these two guys come into the store the day before. Lo and behold, what are they driving? A Lincoln Continental. And I wrote this down. She says this. They interview Patsy. And this is her statement, people, and try to get what I got out of this. "They'd been out of town for a while and hadn't seen my husband in quite a long time. Then they started reminiscing a little bit about when they were here before and all that. And they told him they'd see him again before they left. And then they left." Okay. What does that make you think?
That they know this person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What in the heck is going on?
What's the backstory here?
So Patsy is literally telling us that her husband knew these men. You don't reminisce. That is the word she used. I'm not using that word. Reminisce. Do you reminisce with a stranger?
No.
Exactly. So how do you not know who these people are?
This isn't some coffee shop or something that this is the tourists that come through every summer and you're like, "Hey, glad you're back. Enjoy your stay."
Yeah.
She acted as if her husband was somehow associated with these people.
Yes, exactly.
So what was their name? What's the information?
Why are we not interviewing the husband of the bookstore owner?
We get none of that information.
No, we don't get any of that information.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And as I did in my notes right here, they said, the investigators did say, "Why didn't Amy and Patsy come forth with this information?" And they said, "We did," but they could not find any type of notes or anything, interviews with these people. So they're a little confused. Then supposedly, dude, these guys were all over and everybody saw these people.
Everyone was friends with these people too.
But here's the thing. We don't even know if these two dudes are actually the murderers. They never tell us why these two dudes are actually, why they think they're the murderers.
Yeah.
because they drove a Lincoln Continental and they saw a guy in an alley. Okay, that is at least
it's worth talking to them.
It's worth talking to them. I agree. These two men were spotted at a local bar 2 or 3 nights after the murder. And a witness saw them talk to a man who we find out later was the owner or some type of manager of the bar. And he talks to him and he hands him an envelope of money. And this guy, the witness, then goes and says, hey, what's going on?
If you witnessed that exchange, would you then insert yourself into that conversation?
No. But this witness, this is a quote. The witness goes up to the owner or the manager and says, and I quote, wasn't that so-and-so? So you're telling me he knows who they are.
Yeah.
You don't ask, wasn't that a stranger?
Yeah.
You only say, wasn't that Jim Bean right there?
Yeah.
And he says, yeah. And he goes, what's the money for? He says, they did a job for me and now they got to leave town. Okay. All right.
This is
a lot of witnesses with some weird things going on.
Weird that everyone seems to know these guys and their name, but the police yet have no clue who they are.
Yeah, I know. So then we come to find out that bar that guy owned and the guys were in, the liquor license was held by Peter, Stanley's brother.
Okay.
So Stanley's brother owned the liquor license for this bar. And Peter had died. But shortly before Peter died, he calls Stanley into his room. Again, this story is so weird. And we hear this from his kids. They tell us 8 months before Peter died, he got ill. Stanley goes in and visits with him. They have a secret conversation behind closed doors. And even though Peter and Stanley were close, they never spoke again.
That is weird.
And
And here's the thing. I don't know anything about liquor licensing except for the fact I have worked at a couple restaurants where you had to apply for a liquor license and you held it. And as someone who served alcohol at these establishments, the owners were very strict about the rules because you mess up once, like give an underage person a drink, you risk losing your liquor license. And that's a huge part of your business. And maybe New York is different. It's crazy to me that a man held a liquor license for a bar he did not own.
I don't get how a man owns a liquor license for a bar. And they don't explain that to us. Do you want that explanation? You're not going to get it.
So if anyone knows any information about, maybe it's different from state to state, because I only ever worked as a server in Oregon. Maybe it was different in
the 70s. Maybe you're like, hey, man, you bid for a liquor license. You're like, and then you hold it over people's head.
So here's the thing. I'm a real estate agent. I have a realtor license, but my license is held, even though it's under my name, under the brokerage that I work for, right? So I don't know if because he had a liquor store, maybe he was the distributor for that county. I don't know. It's just, to me, this gets really complicated really quick. Other than a robbery, we start to get these kind of off the wall theories.
We're just throwing theories out now.
Yeah.
So,
and because the investigation was crap at the beginning, this is what you have to do.
Yeah. So after that secret conversation, Peter ends up passing away 4 months later. It looks like Stanley then becomes the owner of the liquor license. We don't really know. But we do come. Then Robert Stack comes out and says, well, in 1982, the liquor license for that bar was revoked. That bar was shut down. And up until 1990, that bar was still closed. And it was revoked and closed because of on-site gambling and drug dealing.
Yep.
So Robert Stack comes back. Why was he murdered? Was it just a robbery? Did it have to do something with the secret conversation of his brother? Did he know too much about what was going on at that bar? Illegal drugs going on, illegal gambling. What happened?
Yeah, why was this poor man murdered and his wife hogtied? Because at the end of the day, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like nothing was actually stolen from the house except for a couple of beers.
Yeah. And Then I was thinking, why did they ransack the house for 45 minutes? What were they looking for?
Yeah.
Then we come to find out, Robert Stack tells us, and when they reopened the investigation, a lot of evidence had been just up and went missing from this case.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Okay.
That's where Unsolved Mysteries leaves us.
Any updates?
Update. Nothing.
Seriously?
Never solved.
Oh,
so clearly,
that poor family.
Yeah. So the police did come out in the 90s and 93 and say they had a prime suspect. He was the owner or some type of that bar.
Okay.
So they were looking for tips to pretty much kind of tie him to it. Nothing ever came. And it appears, but of course, technically, because this is an open investigation, the police haven't released anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's speculation that this prime suspect is now dead and gone. So
there's no one to
come
prosecute.
out. I guess they came out. So there's a name by them. There's a man by the name of Chuck Brzezinski.
Brzezinski.
But Brzezinski.
Okay.
The police came and said he's wanted for questioning. They actually said, we think he's a prime witness or something. They wanted to question him. Yeah. He worked at that bar in the 70s. He was wanted for questioning, but he was arrested in 1977 for drug charges. He jumped bail and is technically still, I looked him up, is still missing. Never seen again. Shut the front
door. Another unsolved mystery within a mystery.
Within this mystery. This guy was wanted for questioning of some type. In this case, he jumps bail, goes missing. They had a prime suspect. They never released the name of that prime suspect.
The owner of the bar, though. The same guy that we've been talking about.
Yeah. But I think he's passed away. They never released his name. I dug into it. I could not find it.
It's crazy they didn't release his name because at the end of the day, he's dead. So
what I think is they pretty much said, hey, we're honing in on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were just trying to build the case on that guy.
Yeah.
And then I think he just passed away. So
there's no one to bring charges on.
Yeah. So as of right now,
and I think it gets into this
unsolved.
weird gray area. So here in America, you have the right to defend yourself in court. And if you're dead, obviously that doesn't exist anymore. So they can't it automatically kind of 86 is that, which is really too bad for the family because their parents were just at home getting ready for bed. And at the cost of what? Nothing was stolen.
And now everything I'd kind of read. So we've mentioned this podcast multiple times. The Trail Went Cold. He does an episode on this. I didn't listen to it, but if you're interested,
he does go into he takes a handful of unsolved mysteries that are on Unsolved Mystery and goes deep. We talk about him for 15, 20 minutes. He'll do an hour plus.
Yeah. So if you're more interested in the story, he dives into it. He might have some more details than I have. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he does, clearly. But there is a lot of speculation that this was some type of drug. There is even some mob ties dropped out there, or speculations.
It's 70s. Who knows?
It is. But it's all speculation. It doesn't make any sense why him. But the rumor is that he did learn there was illegal activity going in at the bar. He made threats to expose
shut it down or expose it.
Expose what was going on at that bar, the drugs and the gambling, and he was killed for it, unfortunately.
All right. Okay. Before we move on to our next story, a few housekeeping things I need to go over just real quick. One of the best ways that you can support our little independent podcast is by following us on, Apple or Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to check out our social media. We are on TikTok and Instagram on Unsolved Couple Pod. You can email us at unsolvedcouplepodcast@gmail.com. We have a Facebook group called Unsolved Couple Pod Discussion Group. I'm hoping that we can continue to kind of grow that and allow it to be a space for people to talk and communicate and share fun stuff about unsolved mysteries, especially the cases that we cover. We have a couple things going on right now. One, we've got Ben's costume contest going on. We're like a couple hundred downloads away from hitting our first one. And then it goes all the way up to Ben dressing up as the Goblin King from Labyrinth. We'd have to get an insane amount of downloads between now and like a couple of months. So, and if you really honestly enjoy this podcast, if you could just take a few minutes to review us, specifically the biggest one that allows reviews is Apple Podcast. You can leave a 5-star rating review, grab a screenshot of that, send it to me on social media, or you can send it to me in an email, and I will drop in a sticker and a little autographed thank you note. I shouldn't say autographed because we're not that cool. A signed thank you note from me and Ben.
I say autograph.
You say autograph. And
what's wrong with that?
Well, we're not cool. Or
yeah, we are. We don't go to Coldplay concerts.
Fair. And then the other way too, like let's say you're on Spotify and so you can't really leave a review. You can share us with maybe some friends at work or a social media group asking for review or not reviews, recommendations on a podcast. And if every single person listening to this told 2 friends about this podcast,
you sound like a chain.
Yeah,
a chain email.
All of your wishes and dreams will come true.
Please share with 10 friends.
And if you don't share with 2 friends, then you will all get a paper cut and then get lemon juice in it every single day.
The next time you cut your fingernails, it will be too short.
Yeah. And that's just the facts of chainmail. So
that is, it's now been put out there, so it is truth.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this and you don't want to mess with karma, please make sure to share us with 2 friends. All right, so I'm going to tell you the story of a man, actually a boy at the time, called Kevin Poulsen. Full stop. Ben doesn't know this. I emailed Kevin.
No, you told me you emailed him. I'm curious.
He emailed me back.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I hadn't asked you.
So, hey, Kevin, if you're listening, hi. Thank you for emailing back. It was very sweet of you. Full disclosure, I just emailed. I always like to let people know, like, hey, we're going to be talking about you to the 12 people that download us. So
that's more than 12.
If you happen to come across it, and I'd let him know we were just covering it per the Unsolved Mysteries episode. We're going to find out later. Obviously, this happened when he was a teenager, so he has a whole life past that. But he just emailed me back and said, like, thanks for letting me know. So
he didn't give you any details?
I will be honest, I didn't ask for any details, but Kevin, if you're listening and you'd like to come on and chitty chat about your experience going through
Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, then you are, or even how like this show has continued, because now he is a full grown like man, probably in his like late 40s, early 50s. I would be interested to know how this has affected you, the fact that there are still people watching this episode that was from so long ago. So Kevin Poulsen grew up in Los Angeles, California, in the suburbs of North Hollywood. His mother passed away when he was young, and one of his friends describes him as very bright with great potential, but was painfully shy. He received his first computer on his 16th birthday. Okay, and this is like back in the day. This is not like...
That's legit.
Legit, yeah. I can only imagine what kind of money that cost. Because those things had to be insanely expensive.
I'm sure.
So very quickly, he adopts a pseudonym for we find out he's going to be a hacker, right? And he gets a pseudonym called Dark Dante.
Dark Dante?
Yeah, I love it. So he has this name and I know nothing about hacking, you guys, other than like MySpace and learning how to like build, like adding in the coding of like what my favorite song was at the time. I don't know anything about this kind of stuff, but we're going to find out that he discovers a telephone number for ARPANET, which is a computer network funded by the Pentagon.
This sounds like War Games, that movie from the 80s.
Yes.
Is it John Cusack? I think it was John Cusack.
I love that you think I've seen that movie. Moving on.
Okay.
It links university and think tank computers across the country by a telephone line. This is all way above my pay grade. So take this for what it is. I cannot explain the inwards and outwards, but this was not available to the regular public, I guess I could say. So for him, this becomes, and I quote, a tantalizing challenge. Fair. He's a 16-year-old with a computer. There's probably some other tantalizing things 16-year-olds do nowadays on their computer, but he was into hacking and figured out he had some access to some pretty insane information he wasn't supposed to have.
It's kind of wild to me.
It is insane to me.
I think it's kind of awesome.
I do think it is awesome too. So after he connects his modem to the ARPANET telephone number, he realizes that he is hooked up to military research at the University of California.
So he pretty much found the internet.
Yeah.
The secret, the secret
internet. Exactly. And he's connected to the University of California in Berkeley, but he needs a password. And it wasn't password spelled backwards. And it wasn't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is back. Remember? Okay. So anyone listening to this now, we all live this experience where your password has to have like X amount of characters, some capitalized, and we have to change them like all the time. And it's annoying. But this is back in the day when they just assumed everybody was making good choices on the secret internet.
Well, and it was also back when you didn't have so many tries to crack the password.
Several passwords, no luck. But then he tries the university's initials, UCB, and click.
That's a terrible password.
Lock. Yeah, I mean, really, at the end of the day, we should be talking to who picked that password. If, to me, this kid was able to get into that this easy, it says he might be a little bit of the problem, but you need to take a look in the mirror and say, we messed up.
Yeah, but also, you're making this password and thinking, how many other people are even able to log in? Computers were not a thing.
Yeah, fair. And you're on a secret internet. Or telephone line is what they called it back then. This was not considered the internet. They were all hooked up to one telephone line. So we get an interview from someone that claims to be his friend. This woman interviewed, I don't know if he didn't want to date her or something, but she does not seem to be a fan of him. Did you get that vibe that she was like kind of being a little snark about it?
I don't.
So Poulsen's friend is interviewed and says that he liked having the power and liked to have power over other people who he, quote, believed were beneath him.
Beneath him.
You don't say that about your friend, man. That seems more like a bitter really statement. Yeah. Yeah. So his activities are soon detected by the University of California, Berkeley, when he slipped up and used his real name instead of his pseudonym, Dark Dante.
He forgot tonight.
He was blissfully unaware and continued his hacking activities, giving authorities even more ammo against him. So the morning of September 22nd, 1983 in LA, the DA comes in and confiscates his computer, and a fellow hacker, we don't get any more information about that guy or gal, is arrested. But because of his age, they just kind of give him a slap on the wrist and say, don't do that again.
Stop doing this. Stop hacking into our secret stuff.
It was so early, it was like, hey, what you're doing is not just like, ooh, I got away with something. It's illegal. Don't do it again. However, during the next year, Poulsen decides to just take the high school equivalency exam and move out of his parents' house to Northern California. But Dark Dante was not done yet.
It was too tempting. Mm-hmm. He was tempted.
He just had evolved. So he's in his new house. he continued to cruise, as I say, Robert Stack says, the electronic highway.
Electronic.
Cloaked in a pseudonym.
Cool.
So Dark Dante has got his cape on in my mind, and he's cruising down
the dark alleyways.
The electronic highway, which in my mind is a power pole line, and he's just driving his little car on it. Beep, having a great time. However, he was better. He'd learned his lesson not to use his real name. But he made another critical error. He didn't pay his storage bill. So the storage facility in Northern California takes a stop at a locker that is past due on the payments. So Storage wars. We will later find out. I don't think at the time, it just seemed like the owner just opened up and probably was going to take out whatever and sell whatever needed to be done. He opens it up and finds very quickly, like, this is not just your standard storage unit stuff. There's a lot of launch codes. There is codes and paperwork and what appears to be like pieces of telephone technology and all kinds of stuff. So he calls the local authorities and have them come in and enter in the telephone company investigator, John Von
Steuben.
What?
Steuben.
No. Is that a real person?
No, I think it's just some movie.
Some movie?
Von Steuben.
Von Steuben. No, so this blew my mind that the telephone company, because they're so obsolete now.
Yeah.
Had a full-on investigator, which makes sense, but is just so John Vaughn comes in along with local police, and immediately they notice that this has pieces of electronic equipment, payphones, computer printouts, non-published phone numbers for the Soviet Union embassy. What? And now, mind you guys, this is during a time where our relationship with the Soviet Union
is the Cold War.
It is not good.
If you have Russia stuff,
it's a problem.
It's a red flag. We're worried.
We're concerned. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you were looking very quickly at like full on, what is that called when you work for when you live in America, but you would be doing this?
Spy?
Espionage.
That's
thank you. Spine, but that's the fancy word for it.
Yes, you're right.
And I'm fancy on this podcast.
That's like the English version, you know?
Exactly.
Because the English
should I
always
say
use
it in an English accent?
Yeah, you should.
I can't.
Don't do it.
Okay, so.
But now you should try. But don't do it.
Espionage. That's pretty good.
That was terrible. That was, oh my gosh, that was so bad.
The material is not something that a normal person could accidentally come across. It was clearly stolen property. And the locker owner was listed as John Anderson, which turns out to be fake. However,
John Anderson. What, John Smith?
He forgot that his name, Poulsen, was on several pieces of material that were inside the locker.
Listen, he's really smart when it comes to phone stuff, but like covering his tracks, terrible. So Dark Dante is, no offense, John
called in and he's busted again. So authorities come in, they apprehend him, and he agrees to a search of his apartment where they are astonished to find he has a complete wiretapping facility in his spare bedroom.
Listen, I'm not here to try to give terrible advice. But if you are doing illegal things and there's an incriminating things in your apartment,
you can say no to the search.
You don't have to consent to the search.
You could say, I'd love to help you out, boys, but I'm going to need you to come back with a warrant just so everything's on the up and up. And then once they leave, you get rid of your wiretapping room.
All right. I'm not trying to give advice, but
okay,
don't do that. If you're committing a crime,
don't do crime. That's actually our motto.
Don't do the crime. If you can't do the time.
And some of these crimes I've learned, I might have time for that. Especially the blue collar ones where people steal billions of dollars and like
never
10
pay
years
it back.
And never have to pay it back. And you've served the time for it. So if you magically find the money that you hid. Anyways, that's a podcast for another day.
Oh, that's terrible. We should stop saying
the equipment in the room. allowed him to not only enter computer databases, but monitor telephone conversations without the parties.
So he could wiretap people.
Yep.
The government.
Yep. And it was connected to his computer. And it was an unauthorized test set, which could be used to tap into private unlisted phone lines. Only
like
the
the
telephone
Russian
company
embassy.
And legal authority. That's the other thing, dude. You're lucky that Russia didn't find out you were
lucky
doing
the
this.
KGB didn't come knocking.
KGB's knocking at your door. What is that joke from The Office? Knock, knock. Who's there? The KGB? KGB. We'll be asking the questions around here.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he's so lucky that they were not aware that he was potentially doing that.
That he was spying on them?
Yes. Okay, so incredibly, on top of that, this guy, no joke, original selfie, sets up a camera and takes pictures of him having broken into telephone company facilities. He's like sitting at a chair, looking very handsome, I should say, by the way. Also a little smug.
You're only saying that because he might be
a little smug in the pictures. But this man set up a full-on camera and took pictures of him having broken inside high-security telephone facilities. Is that not nuts?
He's the smartest guy in the room.
Touch of narcissism there. I'm going to think you would to document his crimes. His ego provided the phone company with all of the evidence they needed to bring to the FBI. The FBI agents determined that his acts were involved and had escalated. They found evidence that pertained to the United States government computer system. He had transferred the passwords of that computer to an electronic mail, aka email, to other individuals. Investigators found that over the last year, someone matching his description had also illegally entered several Northern California telephone facilities using fake ID. They documented at least 3 cases where he actually entered the buildings. Once inside, he'd find the telephone numbers he could use to get inside the phone company's computer system. He'd steal manuals, switch equipment, and the test set that he'd had in his top secret spy room in his apartment was from one of those break-ins. Poulsen had also allegedly infiltrated U.S. military computer transmissions, obtaining classified Army information. Authorities believe that he had obtained classified information about the FBI investigation of overthrowing the Philippine president.
So he did commit espionage.
Yeah.
And possibly treason.
Yeah. In addition, he may have wiretapped and recorded the phone conversations of a friend of his. We don't get any more information about that.
Probably a lady friend.
I'd love to know more information on that. Like, why were you wiretapping your friend?
It was a lady friend.
No, his name's Sean.
Oh.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lady friend.
The test set found in Poulsen's apartment among his possessions was also the unlisted Soviet number. Led the FBI to believe that he may be engaging in espionage. Throughout their investigation, they learned that he had obtained secret clearance. Because of this, his penetration of the U.S. government, the U.S. Army, and obtaining non-published numbers to a Soviet consulate, they were concerned how far this was going. October 19th, 1989, two investigations resulted in a 19-count indictment against this guy and 2 other fellow hackers.
You're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. They were charged with conspiracy, computer fraud, wiretapping, embezzlement, theft of public property and records, and the 2 other men were arrested. But Poulsen fled. He pieced out.
He's on the run.
Yep. The FBI would like us to know they don't believe he's dangerous. Okay? Just inquisitive. And
he's just listening to your phone conversations.
The FBI believes that he has the potential to be dangerous to law enforcement, government, and the public because of what he knows.
Let's just say they're all worried because he's smarter than them.
Exactly. This guy has outsmarted the government, making them look like idiots. All right. And that's where Unsolved Mystery leaves us.
All right. They're looking for him. Mm-hmm. Where is he?
Where is this kid?
Help us get him. Update.
Captured.
Yeah.
In March of 1991, the FBI receives information from an unsolved mystery viewer.
Oh, dear.
That Poulsen was living somewhere in the Los Angeles area. FBI interviewed acquaintances of his, and one of them stated he had been seen recently at a grocery store in the area called
that's right.
Hugs
This was
Market.
a wild story.
Agents then interview the market employee, giving Poulsen's photo to the employees. Okay. 3 weeks later on April. So now we're getting another reenactment. 3 weeks later, April 11th, around 10 o'clock at night, Poulsen goes to his local grocery store. Enter night manager Brian Briggs.
This is Sierra.
This is, part of this is me.
If you had an opportunity to capture someone for the police, you are all over
this. Brian, is a night manager, but what he really, really wants to be is an FBI agent.
It's not even the FBI.
What is Michael Scott's pseudonym for when he does improv?
Secret Agent Scorn.
Scorn. That's who this guy is. This is what reminded me of the whole time. Okay, so night manager, secret agent Brian Scorn recognizes him and immediately notifies the FBI. However, the FBI was late to the game, so he's able to leave the store before agents can respond. Someone didn't pick up their phone.
Secret Agent Scorn is so upset about this.
No, it's Secret Agent Brian.
Brian Scorn.
Brian Bridges. Okay, so... However, the telephone company investigator, Terry, is still...
Who is this guy?
He's in cahoots with the night manager. I'm guaranteed these two want to be...
As a telephone phone investigator, this is the most exciting thing
that's ever going to happen to this guy.
Happened in
and
his
also
job.
As a night manager of a grocery store in Los Angeles.
No, I bet there's some wild things that happen at night in a grocery store.
This is going to be the top.
But capturing a federal fugitive?
So they learned that that the FBI sighting had failed, right? The FBI had not gotten this guy. So he decides on his own to survey the market, hoping that he would return.
I will say that's actually really smart.
It seems like the FBI wasn't really that worried about it.
I don't think they were that invested in catching this guy. But this night manager
and this telephone investigator, this was their number one priority.
That's the only case on this man's desk.
So 11:50 p.m., he shows up, drives up, parks immediately in front of the grocery store. Once Poulsen is inside, the telephone investigator, Terry, takes position near the front door and asks the security guard to find Bridges, which is the night manager, and tells
Secret Agent Scorn
that Poulsen is in the store. Target has been acquired, believing that he would once again elude capture.
Oh my
Two store clerks make a daring move and tackle this man to the ground, call the security guard.
What is going on?
The guard takes him to the back of the room where he is held. And in the holding, he's being legitimately held down, on the ground, hogtied, until FBI finally shows up. This guy's like, dude, this couldn't have waited till morning. He got called out of bed. He arrives and placed him under arrest. During the search of Poulsen, they found handcuff keys in an eyeglass case. While in custody, he had continuously claimed that his contact lenses were drying out and asked if someone could get him his eyeglass case.
I will say, this guy... Pretty smart.
Pretty smart.
He stashed a handcuff key just in case if I ever get caught.
I bet he was regretting that he stashed it not on his person, but that on
exactly.
He was like, I'll never make that mistake again.
This is my ruse. I'll tell people my contacts would bother me. I need my glasses.
Can you imagine if
get the key.
Just your standard beat cop was like, yeah, sure, man, I don't care. Hands in that, and he escaped again. That'd have been great.
That's a bad day for you.
Yeah.
But smart for him.
So in June of 1994, so this is going on for a while, Poulsen pleads guilty to 7 counts of conspiracy, fraud, and intercepting wire transmissions in connection with radio. So this, I don't think this was mentioned on Unsolved Mystery. he was rigging radio station contests to win prizes.
Awesome.
He won a Porsche doing this.
So I watched, there's a show, Justified, great show. And there's a guy in there. That's what he does.
I bet it's based on this guy's thing.
Probably.
So it's April 1995. He's sentenced to 51 months in federal prison. Only 51 months.
That's still a lot of time.
Yeah. I mean, for espionage.
Well,
I guess they didn't bring those charges against him.
Were espionage.
And why do you think the FBI maybe didn't bring those charges against him?
Here's the thing. I'll give him this. The FBI said, you're smarter than us. You come do some work for us.
Yeah.
And we'll show you some leniency.
But in July 1996, he's released.
So how long did he do?
He was sentenced in April of 1995.
So a year?
And he was pleaded guilty in 94.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
He's released and ordered not to use a computer or the internet for 3 years. We're going to let you out, but you're not allowed to use a computer or the internet.
He's like, fine.
We've got to get ahead of you before you're back to the technology.
He's like, that's fine. I just need to go to the library.
Yeah. So following his release, Poulsen reinvented himself and tried to distance himself from his criminal past. He became a journalist writing about cybersecurity topics. He was a contributing editor for the Daily Beast. And in 2006, he created a computer script that helped locate over 700 sex offenders that were using MySpace to try to contact people.
Hey, clearly this guy is smarter than most. And it's great that he then started using that for good.
Yeah.
I mean,
and like I said, I found his email because he's got like a LinkedIn profile. He's still very actively involved in the tech world. Yeah. But not on Unsolved Mysteries. I should have looked up. I think he won a few Porsches.
That's awesome.
And a lot of money. So what he would do is he would block so it's like you're the 25th caller. He would block every other number.
And then just call and be the
25th caller.
That's awesome. I love it. I'm here for it. Well, this guy reminded me of remember the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Yes.
With Tom Hanks, Leonardo DiCaprio.
The only problem with that guy is that he pretended to be like a pilot and a surgeon and was like putting people's lives in danger to get away with this.
But the FBI caught him and then they were like, hey,
do you want to work for us? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So that is season 3, episode 4 of Unsolved Mysteries. And let's get to our question, Ben.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
You were the one that came up with the question.
Oh, that's right.
Do you have a friend from growing up that you've lost touch with that you would love to reconnect with? Or someone, I guess, anyone in your life?
Yes.
Okay. Who is it?
Oh, you want me to tell you?
Well,
it's top secret. I
can't
tell you.
You have to answer the question, this was not a yes or no. This is a podcast.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Okay.
Yes, no. So there is a good friend of mine. He lived in town growing up. I mean, they lived in a trailer park. Wild and crazy, but awesome guy. His dad, they were living in a trailer park while his dad was going to ophthalmology school.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you do what you like.
Yeah. Anyways, I became really good friends with him. His name was Tyler Wilson. And you're going to find out, just taking that name, you'll find out my problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to say that information alone is going to give you several hundred Tyler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Tyler Wilson is a very common name. So I kept in contact with him when I was maybe 14, 15, maybe a little younger. He moved. His dad finished school, got a job up in Wenatchee, Washington.
Oh, Wenatchee.
So it was 5-6 hours away. I even went up there one time and visited.
Oh, really?
Stayed the weekend with him and that. Yeah, he had a great family, good friends with Tyler. But of course, as time goes on, you get older, you kind of lose contact. We stayed in contact a little bit, and I came to find out I ended up moving to Indiana, and that he ended up moving somewhere. His dad passed away when he was 19, 20 years old.
Oh.
Terrible, I know. And I found that out. And then I just lost contact.
Yeah.
And I honestly actually have looked for him multiple times. But The problem is people my age, I am not an active social media person at all. I don't really have a footprint. I have a Facebook, but I am never on it.
Yeah.
And I don't really use it for anything. I do not have
You basically have it there for connecting with long-term friends.
And I kind of let that go.
Yeah.
That's why I originally started it, because I had a lot of friends from Indiana and different places that I'd lived, and I want to connect with them. And now I've kind of let that go. But I don't have an Instagram. I don't have a X or whatever it is or anything else. So, but I remember when I did have a Facebook, I looked for him, but a Tyler Wilson.
Yeah. And
I don't know where he lives now.
Yeah.
I don't know if his family stayed in Wenatchee or whatever. So it's sad because he was a great friend. He was a good man.
Yeah.
But I have no idea. Did he ever get married? Did he have kids? Where did he end up? I have no idea.
No idea.
So if there's an unsolved mysteries, I would.
There is a lost love story there for you.
There's a lost friend
Maybe we
story
should
there.
contact the new unsolved mysteries, see if they want to bring this back.
I wish him the best and hope that. Hope he's doing good in that. But yeah. Anyways, that's my story. What about you?
Yeah, actually, so I grew up in the tiny, tiny little town of Looking Glass, Oregon. I took you there.
Yeah, it's a cute little town.
I freaking love Looking Glass. Look it up if you are interested. There's nothing to do there. There's nothing to see there, but so my elementary school was only one grade, it was K through 5th, and there was maybe 20 kids per grade. So we got to know these kids very well. And I actually Matt and Devin and Lindsay and Bethany, a lot of my friends that I grew up with, Kendall, Amanda, if any of them are listening to this, we all through social media, even though I probably haven't seen half of these people. I mean, I think I've seen a few of them when I've gone back home for the summertime, but Matthew was my first crush. And I've seen these people, but there is one friend of mine from this little Looking Glass elementary school area. Her name was Elizabeth. And because it was in second or third grade, I don't remember her last name, but her family owned the Looking Glass winery, which I'll be honest, don't even think exists now. Maybe it does, but she had this beautiful home on a winery. I don't even know, because again, I was so young, if her parents kept the winery going or if they were just living there. I don't remember it being a big thing, but they had this barn. She had an older sister. Elizabeth and I spent hours together. She was my favorite person to and she didn't live far from my house. And because I think Bethany and Kendall and Lindsay and Amanda, I know where all of them are now today. I've looked for her several times. I don't remember her last name, so that's half the problem. But I even tried to look and see families who had owned, go through ownership records and stuff like that. She moved away shortly before I ended up moving. And this is, again, there was no social media. There was no nothing.
Yeah.
And I remember being really devastated that she moved, and then I ended up moving away. So neither of us had a connection back to Looking Glass. And I think they even moved out of the state of Oregon in general. And I've tried to see if any of my Looking Glass friends had a friend named Elizabeth, and I can't find anything about this person. But she was a real big, pivotal part of my childhood. I love spending time with her. She was a great friend. But yeah, that's about all I think from social media, who I have not reconnected to. And yeah, fair. I'm super active on social media between this and my other job and me being very social. I actually know a lot of people who choose not to have any sort of presence on social media.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I don't really know how you find somebody then. And for what? To say, hey, remember me? We were friends in elementary school?
I know how you find them.
How?
You go on Unsolved Mysteries.
I just made that suggestion and you said no.
I'm just saying.
Well, if Unsolved Mysteries, the new one on Netflix, wants to do a Lost Love episode and they want to find Elizabeth and Ben's friend, what was his name?
Tyler Wilson.
Tyler and Elizabeth, let us know. We'd be happy to be interviewed and you can help us find our friends. All right. Join Ben and I again next week where we recap another one of your original gateway drugs into true crime.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Bye.